I'll continue on now with the nose and face, and we're going to divide the nose into three parts. I do have some dividers that I use sometimes, and if I was doing something maybe a little bigger, I might use those, but I'm just going to estimate this. That looks like 2/3 of the way down the nose to that point. I'm going to mark a point where I'll draw in lines that go from the wings of the nose down toward the mouth. These are the lines that we see in people that run underneath the cheek and above the mouth. Now, using my carving knife and the V tool, I'll set these lines in. I like using this this bench hook because it allows me to move the piece around freely, and I don't have to spend a lot of time clamping and unclamping. If this were a really hard piece of wood, though, I'd probably use a carpenter's vise to hold it. Now, I'll go back over that with the V tool down these creases. This is going to be a little change of direction here. And deepen these cuts under the cheeks. This feature has a name, a biological name. I'm not sure at the moment what it is. I'd have to go. I could look it up on Google, and I'll bet you I could find it. So, my next cuts will be to remove wood from beneath the nose in the area that my knife is resting on right now on either side of the nose. I'll use a chip cut to do this, and one of the tools that I sometimes use, and if I'm carving a lot of these, I use it frequently, to do this is a chip knife. This should work just fine. We want to make sure we get a decent amount of wood out of there, because this is going to define the nose and separate it from the cheeks and give us a little depth so that you can actually see the nose come out of the face. So there we have a couple of chips, and I clean this up a little bit. I didn't make a nice chip on that side. Seems like one side always wants to cooperate more than the other. I don't know why that is. This next part is a little tricky, and you have to be careful not to pry the wood up, but press down on the tip of the knife. You're making a circular cut that goes into the base of the nose, and you're taking out small chips to form a depression. That depression will be the nostril. To say, you just have to be careful. One thing that I do sometimes, another tool that I use to do this, is a very small, I would say almost a micro gouge, a 8 or above, number 8 or above, and I press that down into the nose and then use another micro gouge with a very shallow sweep, a number 3 sweep, to take the chip out at the bottom. This is a lot safer and quicker, but if you don't have micro tools, then you need to do something like this. Now I'm going to shape the nose up a little bit. It needs some definition. So we'll shave down this side, the outside, the wing of the nose on either side to give it a slant. And watch the grain. I almost took off a little bit too much there. You have to be careful of that. And up here, above that cut in the wing, I'm going to take off more of the nose. And in a moment, we'll round that. But for right now, I just want to make it a little more narrow. Okay, there we go. And we don't want to give him a hooked or broken nose look, so we'll gradually carve the nose down into that little notch of a cut that we made earlier. Now, it's not quite there, but it's closer. Touch that up a little bit, and that side. And now we'll use a gouge to go across, oops, wrong tool, to go across and down and to have a diagonal motion, the nose, cut grooves in the wings of the nose, give it more shape. Do that on the other side. Try to keep things in balance. Sometimes that's hard, but that's kind of the name of the game. We use the same gouge in the side of the gouge now to take out a little bit more of the nose on both sides to make it more narrow. Of course, at the top, above the wings of the nose. And then smooth that off a little bit. All right, I'm going to go back with our knife and shave off some of this rough area around those cheeks on the outside of either side of the nose going down. Again, you have to be careful of grain now. You don't want to take out any big chunks and leave a funny looking nose or cheek. And that's probably about where we need to leave it right now.